Sunny Gurpreet Singh is the founder of 2 successful healthcare technology companies in the US and also a philanthropist who channels his wealth and resources to promote global well-being and sustainability. Great to have you back with us. Now let's focus on the RoundGlass Foundation. It has a lot of causes it supports. Can you give us an overview of what it's trying to do?
So at RoundGlass, we have 2 major components or 2 divisions. One is living, where we are trying to democratize and provide access to holistic well-being to humanity. And the other side is the giving side, where we do a lot of social initiatives that are well-being centric or holistic well-being centric for certain cohorts of society. In our giving initiatives, we have the following things that we do. One is RoundGlass Sustain, where we are chronicling the biodiversity of India. And this falls into the realm of planetary well-being and community well-being. India being one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, the biodiversity is shrinking. And I want that Indians and the world should take pride in the great biodiversity of India, protect it, nurture it, grow it, and come and enjoy it. So for that, we started storytelling the habitat, wildlife, human interaction with the habitat and wildlife from a conservation point of view as a starting point for the biodiversity. So that is one initiative that we started. The second one has to do with sports. We have created 4 academies in India. One is football, what we call soccer in the US. I live in the US, so we call it soccer here, football in the rest of the world. I like the word football myself. It's football,
Agreed.
field hockey, tennis, and golf. And the whole idea of the sports academy is holistic development of the athlete. And on top, that means look at the whole person approach. And number 2, that every person who comes into our elite academy, their first job is on us. So they go through, it's a fully paid up residential academy. We find this out the best talent throughout the country. And we give them full residential, our own school, our own chefs, our own kitchen. We get them through college if required. We get them the first job. It's either as a professional, they become a professional athlete, or they can come back and work in RoundGlass Sports as assistants, as coaches, etc., or we find them a corporate job. Underneath that, we have what we call development centers and grassroots centers, where the grassroots centers push the talent to the development centers push the talent to the elite academy, from which we turn out professionals. It has done really well. If I had some bragging rights over here, our football and hockey teams are all at all levels #1 in the country. In India, in 4 short years, in tennis, we have won 630 titles in 4.5 years, national and international. In golf, we just started 3 months ago, but all the 16, 17 players are #1, #2, #3 in the country in 3 short months. So we are showing, in a way, India how sports should be done. But most importantly, I want to show the world how an athlete should be treated. What happens is that it happens in the US quite a bit and globally. We get the athletes in a system. Now, all of them bring glory to their school or to their college and some to their clubs. But the ones that do not become professionals, who don't have a living, we discard them. We're saying, we're done with you. Thanks for bringing the glory. Go find your own job. And for me, that's unthinkable. That's unethical. For us, if you're elite, you're bringing glory to the country, glory to the club, and glory to your family and glory to your nation. What you need to do is that we need to take care of you to make sure that while you give your life up for sports, we will ensure that if you don't become professional, we'll train you so that you can get the job and you can start a life in a different way. So you don't have to struggle and say, I can't have a family, I can't feed my family, I can't take a nice vacation, etc., etc. So that give and take, it cannot be I take, and when I'm done with you, thank you very much. And so we are showing the world how do you holistically develop a child, an athlete, holistically, and how do you purpose them in life other than sports if they don't become a professional. So that's the whole idea of the RoundGlass Sports that we are doing.
For companies and entrepreneurs, what is your advice to them about giving back? A lot of them say, I don't know how, I don't know where to begin. What would you say is perhaps just an easy path to start?
So it's a matter of paying attention. If you pay attention to your colleagues, to your friends, to your neighbors, talk to them, build a relationship, have authentic conversation and build meaningful relationships with them. you will realize what's ailing them. If you're authentic to them, they'll be authentic to you. Be vulnerable, saying, you know what, this is what ails me. This is what bothered me. You will see how many people open up. And when they open up and see, my God, my friend is unhappy. My neighbor is unhappy. My neighbor went through a surgery. I don't know how he or she is eating. Do they get friends over? Are they lonely? When you start talking to people with authenticity, with vulnerability, and having meaningful conversations, you realize where you can help. That's all it takes. As much as you go grab a coffee from a barista, have a relationship with him or her, saying, how you doing? And how was your day? And what you do last weekend? And you will be surprised how many people come up and tell you what's bothering them if you tell them what's bothering you. So it starts from you. Be vulnerable, be authentic, be honest, and people be honest to you. And from there, take it. Take something. Hey, I like this person. The person's miserable. Even calling your parents. If your parents are living with you, call them every day. Tell them I was just thinking about you. Just want to say a quick hello. That's giving back. That is taking care of making other people happy than your own self and your immediate family.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated, does it? Now, before I interrupted you earlier, you were going to the third tenet of RoundGlass, and does that have to do with women equality?
Yes, we are very big on that. So we are doing a lot of work in the villages of Punjab. Punjab is one of the 28 states in India, population about 30 million. And about 12,000 plus villages with a population about 18 to 20 million of the 30 million residing in villages. Now, we focus on three areas: youth development, women equity, and the environment. But women equity spans all our giving initiatives. So surprisingly, we did a survey 6 months ago, stats, and over 75, close to 80% of the beneficiaries and the recipients, so people who were involved in our initiatives and who benefit from our initiatives, were women, young girls, women of all ages. But in youth development, we do a lot with immersive learning and sports. Young girls and boys are involved. In environment, we do waste management. We're going to plant 1 billion trees in Punjab by 2035, because by 2038, Punjab becomes a desert if you don't plant 1 billion trees. We're doing regenerative farming because Punjab is an agriculture state, so it's over-fertilized with the Green Revolution, so the soil is very polluted, the water tables are 400 feet, stubble burning destroys the air, so regen farming fixes all of that. So we're doing a lot with the environment, we're doing a lot with youth development, and women equity is weaved across.
So interesting. The other very intriguing project that RoundGlass has embarked on was a study on workplace well-being, particularly on the younger generation. Can you tell us what the key finding of that was?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I have the report with me over here. We had a lot of, we did about 25, 26 countries. We did a survey around well-being and longevity, and a lot with the Gen Zs. And we found some very interesting stuff. One of the things is that the Gen Zs are much more intelligent, much more aware, and much more inclined to living well. I'm telling you, they got their act together. Now, they might, some people are saying that, it's a generation that's a bit more entitled. They don't want to work hard. I don't know how much of that is true or not. But one thing I know, Gen Zs care for themselves. Gen Z care for the world. They care for the planet. They want to form communities. They want friendships, irrespective of social media and everything else. So I think we got a generation that has great potential. And some of the findings were, I'll share that with you. I'll share that from different perspectives. So, what should CEOs do when they're hiring Gen Zs in their companies? We realized from our survey, and that's again, 25 plus countries across the world, number one, make well-being a board level priority. Appoint a chief well-being officer. I'm telling you, 10 years from now, a company that doesn't have a good well-being plan will be at a disadvantage at hiring talent, just like if you don't have a good health plan, you won't join the company. Some other stats that I think you will find also interesting over here is that, half of the Gen Z said they are willing to take a pay cut if they have a better well-being plan by the company. So for them, well-being matters. What the company does for their well-being matters more than the paycheck they're going to get. Now, I don't think I ever thought like that. I don't think my generation ever thought like that. 22% of the Gen Zs rate their mental health as poor to very poor. Imagine that. Gen Zs talking about mental health, right? 40% said it's a barrier. Mental health is a barrier to healthy living. 35% believe it's a critical factor for a healthier, happier life. These are telling statistics. So if you really look at the stats that came out, one was Gen Zs care about well-being. They are scared of mental health. Lack of mental health is on the rise. People are easily fatigued. They don't know how to deal with life, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't know what happened post-COVID, but I find that the fragility of the human spirit, I've never seen it this weak. And for Gen Zs to want well-being, to be given tools for well-being, for their parents advocating well-being, for services being there, companies providing well-being services, is mandatory, is necessary to have a holistic, a complete generation being fully complete and whole. Otherwise, we'll have a Gen Zs with a fragile lifestyle, a fragile life, which is not good given social media, the state of the world, et cetera, et cetera. I find, even when I talk to a lot of Gen Zs, I find sometimes trouble in their voice and their minds. They're troubled. And sometimes they just become frivolous so they don't have to think about things. They will joke about things in a very frivolous manner. And I believe well-being aids and helps them in all of those areas in making them resilient, making them stronger, making them be more aware, making better decisions, et cetera, et cetera.
You know, that is quite encouraging that they do want that. And I certainly hope that the world does change to accommodate that, or otherwise, as a mother, I really worry about the next generation. Thank you so much. You know, I would love a much longer conversation on that, but we are running out of time. But before I go, and wishing you the greatest longevity, but what would you like your legacy to be when you finally step away from all of this?
I don't believe in that. And I'll tell you why. You know, I think as, you know, your legacy means what you want the world to remember you by. You know, my only hope is my kids believe that I was a good father and I was a good parent and I was a good friend to them. And that's the only thing that matters to me in my life and nothing else.
Well, on that note, thank you so much. Sunny Gurpreet Singh, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and founder of RoundGlass Foundation.